Okay, let's talk about why fruits and vegetables are not necessary in the diet. First of all, let's talk about what we think they are. One of the reasons why we think that fruits and vegetables are an important part of our diet is based on epidemiology studies. Now, remember, epidemiology studies survey large populations. They take food questionnaires based on memory, often these food frequency surveys, which basically are guesses at best, but they take the people that say they eat more servings of fruits and vegetables. They run that through statistics to see who lived longer, who had less heart disease, who had less cancer, and so on and so forth. And so when they do that, they show that there's a small advantage to eating fruits and vegetables in those sort of population surveys. What they don't have or sort of clarify with those things is what else do those people eat? If you're eating fruits and vegetables a lot, by definition, you're almost always avoiding things they would otherwise displace, such as sugar, refined foods, flour, and stuff like that. And your meat consumption generally is probably not much changed. And so based on that is largely why we think fruits and vegetables are important. The other thing is we've always been told by our parents, by our grandparents, eat your vegetables. We know they don't taste very good, but you should eat them. They're good for you. So we have this inherent belief bias that these things are good for us. What happens when you actually look at randomized controlled trials where you actually increase or decrease the amounts of fruits and vegetables in their diet? First of all, back to the epidemiology. The Pure study out of Europe, which is one of the largest studies, epidemiologic studies ever done, actually showed no benefit to fruits and vegetables in the diet. But back to the randomized controlled trial studies, there's been a few of them done that have shown basically no benefit whatsoever for adding fruits and vegetables into the diet. So that's when they actually control for that and actually study that carefully. They've seen no real benefit. Now, there are some compounds in fruits and vegetables because remember, we have this bias that we believe fruits and vegetables are beneficial. And so we have this sort of already sort of built-in bias. And so we go looking for a reason. So we'll isolate certain compounds out of fruit and vegetable. One that's lately been talked about a lot is sulforaphane, which is found predominantly in broccoli and broccoli sprouts. And so we know that when we put that in cell culture, it can damage cancer cells. It has a few things that are seen to be positive. Okay, so when you isolate an isolated compound in an isolated cellular reaction, you've seen some benefit. What we don't see is what are the negative consequences of that particular compound. Sulforaphane, for instance, was seen in some studies where when they were given to rats, they noted that the rats' liver enzymes elevated, indicating possible liver damage. There's also been studies that have shown that sulforaphane has shown a tendency toward DNA instability by interfering with long terminal repeats, which means that the DNA becomes unstable. Now, those were only discovered on accident. They weren't actually looking for the negative consequences. They just sort of noticed that as a sort of side effect while looking for something else. And so if you actually look at some of these compounds, a lot of the plant compounds that we eat on a daily basis, Bruce Ames did this in the 1990s, a study out of 1990, I think is entitled Natural Pesticides. Look that up by Bruce Ames. He showed that out of 52 naturally occurring plant compounds, 27 of those were noted to cause cancer in rats. Now, it's not to say that they automatically cause you cancer, but it's just to show that these compounds are not always benign. Additionally, we don't eat compounds in isolation. Fruits and vegetables have a lot of chemicals in them, besides just one or two compounds that we decide to study and we find a positive effect for. So there's a lot of interactions that we don't know anything about. And there's a lot of compounds in there besides that also cause problems, not to mention the issues with fiber that a lot of people have. So in net, there really is no concrete, absolute proof that fruits and vegetables are of any use to our diet. Antioxidants, antioxidants, exogenous antioxidants, when they're given to us either in food, plant form, or in vitamin supplement form, have been shown to be very ineffective at doing anything. In fact, they're harmful in many cases. They don't make it through much of the something like 99.9% of it is destroyed by the digestive system, and they don't work very well. They're not designed for us to utilize. They're designed for plants. They're not designed for animals. We have our own endogenous antioxidants, things like glutathione, cystathione, carnosine, superoxide dismutase, and other things, which incidentally, those things become upregulated on lower carb diets. And so we become better at dealing with oxidation on a lower carbohydrate diet. And so this whole sort of thing about these magic super berries that have all these antioxidants, it's just a basically kind of a sales job that doesn't do anything. You're wasting your money for that stuff. So in net, there is really no the only benefit of eating fruits and vegetables is if it knocks out garbage from your diet. And the garbage would be, you know, Twinkies and soft drinks and potato chips. That's the only reason they're of benefit. They add nothing to a meat-only diet. In fact, they probably detract from it. Not to mention there's a lot of people, as we're seeing every day, you know, they go on a meat-only diet, that they're seeing that those compounds, particularly vegetables and high fiber type vegetables, are a net negative, a big net negative for those people. So when people tell you, you know, why aren't you eating fruits and vegetables, just tell them they're completely unnecessary, because they are. There's no reason you have to include them in your diet. At best, you know, they're benign. At worst, they're very detrimental. They might supplement a diet of meat as a flavoring enhancement, but beyond that, there's no real reason to eat them. You're very inefficient at digesting them. Much of the compounds that come in fruits and vegetables are in the wrong isoform. We have to convert them to even use them. They're very inefficiently absorbed. They come with lots of anti-nutrients. They come with lots of often chemicals. You know, they're insecticides. They're plant defenses that actually can harm us. And some of these autoimmune diseases that we don't know why they occur. And we're seeing that people remove plants from their diet and notice that those autoimmune diseases go away. You know, it certainly makes you wonder. So anyway, so fruits and vegetables, overrated, unnecessary, at best neutral, and, you know, maybe as a flavor enhancement, but beyond that, you do not need them. Meat is complete nutrition. There are thousands of people that are in 2018 walking and living proof of that are doing excellent without including those in their diet. So don't feel pressure to do so. Leave your comments below. I'm sure the vegans will leave a lot of hatred. They like to do that. I'll try to answer some of those questions. I'll try to put some more videos up more frequently. I hope you guys have a good day, and just eat a damn steak. Take care.